What's going on, guys? This is Dean here with Cerum Flow, and in this video I'm going to demo you guys a new product feature that we've just released, which allows the end users on Bubble to directly ingest their files to our system and also query it as well. And not only that, but this will allow the end users to only access their data and not other users, because I think this is very crucial to a lot of use cases, as obviously, you're going to have a lot of different users interacting with your applications. You don't want, user A to access user B's ingested data, especially if that's private and confidential information. So you can see here that if we go back into our Bubble editor, you can see that this is just the current user's unique ID. So in my case, this is my unique ID. Now, I'm not logged into anything right now just for demo purposes, but I believe if you're not logged in, as in you're not using Bubble's like authentication, it's just going to create you a user ID. So obviously, if I were to open this up in another window, maybe it would give me, we can just test it here, it would give me the same unique ID, but maybe, yeah, it does. So I think it's just persisted with cookies and whatnot, but anyway, we don't need to get into that. But you can see it's giving me a user ID, so we can just come here and upload a document. I'm going to upload this Apple financial document here, and if we come back, this is just showing you guys, I'm just referencing you what this is. Essentially, it's a a financial document that any public company is required to provide to the public. Form 10Q, you can see it just has a lot of financial data kind of here in tabular format. So if I have it on run step by step, but you can see that we're just sending this file to our system. Again, you don't need to worry about any of that. And then we can come here and just query it. And actually, if we come back into, before we query it, I want to show you guys, if we come back into our application, Cerum Flow, and come back into ingest, you can see that we have the document we just uploaded here, along with the sub-user ID. Now, again, this sub-user ID is currently mine. This would be for whatever user's logged in, but this ensures that only that user, me, will be able to access this data, no one else. So if we just come back into our query and we can ask, what is this document about? It should return us at least just some more info on, so it's a Form 10Q quarterly report ending in April of 2023. Yada, 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 right? So obviously I'll just demo you guys. So if we just open up an incognito tab and we paste that same URL, we'll see a different user ID, because again, since this is a new session, we're seeing a different user ID. Now again, if we had authentication and I logged in, username, email, how we normally would, or with OAuth, we would have the same user ID persistent across any window, or even if you want to access this on your phone, whatever. So if we just come here and query it, we'll ask you a question: what is this document about? We'll go ahead and send the message. In our case, it said chatbot not found, but obviously I'm just showing to you guys that we cannot directly access the information that was found in for this user's unique ID, essentially. And now I just want to show you guys how easy this was to set up in the back end of Bubble in the workflows. So you can see really all there is two simple workflows. One of them is just setting the state here, which you don't need to worry about. But first, if we come into the file upload, you can see we have a new workflow called ingest user file. You can see it's testing yours. Yours won't say that. And basically all we're doing is the only value that you'll need to set up to send is the file uploader's value. That's really it, which we're getting from this element here below this file uploader, which again, this is just Bubble's standard input forms here. Where is it? File uploader here. So that's all it is. We're just sending simply the URL, and then if we actually come back into, we have a new workflow as well, ask as a sub user. Again, shows testing here, don't mind that. But you can see pretty standard if you've used our application, pretty typical here. We have the chatbot ID as well as the message inputs value. So again, this is just this input value form here. And then the enable prompt template. So for those of you that don't know, that's just essentially to provide more directions on your data. So we have that turned off here. You can make this dynamic if you want your users to check it. But here we've just statically set it to no. And then the sub-user ID. So again, who do we want querying this? So of course we've made this dynamic here. So we have the current user's unique ID. So again, if this was a production level application, you have many users, you don't want user A accessing user B's data. So whatever current users logged in, we're sending their unique ID in the request. Because again, obviously you guys saw, for instance, this was my user ID that was provided to me. And then if we come back here, this is the user ID in a different session as I'm acting essentially like another person. Of course, like I said, if we had authentication and I logged in here, it would still show the same persistent user ID, but obviously just for demonstration purposes, I have this pulled up in an incognito tab. So yeah, that's really all it is. Really 2 workflows: ingest file, we're just literally using Bubble's upload file and then just sending the file uploader's value, and then when we query it, same typical stuff. If you've used our services, we're essentially sending the message. We're telling we can set this to yes if we want, and then also for the sub-user ID, we're just putting in the sub-user's unique ID, which is, again, going to be the user that's logged in and using your application. So yeah, guys, very straightforward. I hope this was enough to show you guys. And again, if we just come back into our admin, you can see that you can see kind of which user has uploaded what. So you can see that I, in my case, uploaded this Apple 10Q. We've introduced a new field here, which wasn't there before. So yeah, guys, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, email us at support@cerum.ai. I'd love to help you guys get onboarded onto this, or if you guys have any questions. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.